Welcome to the ISB show. I'm Sahil here with Rahi and Roy. We're getting into it. U.S. men's national team coverage today. We're taking you to North America. There's been a lot of talk, guys, in the news. Mauricio Pochettino has kind of praised MLS. So let's get right into it, guys. And the question I want each of you to answer today with your honest opinions, should MLS players be called up for the U.S. men's national team? Rahi, let's start with you.
If the European players aren't available, of course, Camp Cupcake, easy. Bring in the MLS guys. But that was a Venezuela C team. It was Costa Rica B team. If it's a first team, Roy, it's Europe first, then MLS, man. Europe first.
That wasn't the question, Rahi.
That was a terrible job answering.
Horrible response. That was
go ahead. Was that a yes or no answer? What was that?
I mean, of course, if there's space, but you're telling me first it's European players. Yes, they should be called up, but not if there's European players filling up the roster above them. Number 23, 24, fine. Bring in MLS players.
Okay, so maybe I should phrase it in the players that are actually going to get playing time. Should the MLS players be called up? Okay, so Rahi's a no. Roy?
No. Should MLS players be starting for the U.S. men's national team? That's the question, and the answer is no.
Okay. Starting. Is that what you guys want to talk about? Starting?
No, I don't.
We're going to talk about called up. Okay, fine. So bottom line is, Roy, you get the question. It's significant. Are they going to be significant? Are they going to get minutes during the U.S. men's national team games?
I was expecting more of a Euro snobby, a classic Rahi Euro snobby response, where you say absolutely not. MLS is the worst. There's no good MLS players, but you didn't, and I'm pleasantly surprised. So thank you for that. I'm a big MLS lover. As you know, it is my favorite league in the world. I love the Premier League. I love La Liga, but there is a very special place in my heart for Major League Soccer. Not because it's the best league in the world, but I find it to be the most entertaining.
It is entertaining.
Now, hugely. So should MLS players be on the national team? 1,000,000%. As the league continues to grow, if you asked this 5 years ago, maybe not. As the league continues to grow and get more competitive and teams spend much more money than before, the quality is there. The competition is there. The intensity is there. There's no pro rel. That's always going to be a big argument. So there's not that in higher level pressure to succeed at both the top and the bottom of the table.
It's the pressure. That's what we're talking about, Roy. That is the difference. And that's why you have to go to Europe, because you're under pressure, because the manager's not going to start you right away, because you have to sit on the bench, because you're in a new country at times, because you maybe don't know the language. All these things matter. It's pressure. It's tough. The lifestyle, the game, the press is tougher, Roy, and that makes better players.
I understand. This isn't a conversation of, is Europe better than MLS? Is Premier League better than MLS? That's not the conversation we're having. That's obvious. It's obvious there's more pressure in Premier League. It's obvious that a player is going to feel out of their element, and that'll either make or break them. In most situations with U.S. players in the past 30 years, it has broken them. Look at Juan Agudelo, Breck Shea. There's this huge list of players who have left MLS where they were playing exceptionally well, and in tandem playing well for the national team. Do you remember Juan Agudelo in MLS at 17, 18 for the national team? He was a killer. He was a beast. He goes to the Premier League. His confidence tanks. He forgot his strengths. He comes back and he's a mess. He never recovered. But at 17, 18, 19, he was exceptional for the national team. So that is the reason why I say, if a player chooses to stick around, and that player is an excellent player, 100,000%, you call him up to the national team. There should not be a league discrimination. It should be based on performance and nothing else.
Okay, follow-up question. So if you have a choice of going to the MLS or staying in MLS versus Championship, if you're looking at those two, what do you think?
It's the pressure. It's the Championship because there's pressure. Because those teams are constantly fighting either to stay up or to make it to the Premier League to get promoted. And it's real serious pressure from the fans. I mean, look at Brendan Aronson. Look at what he's dealt with from the Leeds fans initially. Now he's perhaps on the other side of that. But that is important because it makes you realize the importance of every moment, every game, every mistake is amplified. And Roy, when you get to the World Cup, those moments are even more important, and you can't treat any of them lightly. And that's why that pressure that the championship brings, I'm not suggesting it's a more entertaining league. It's pretty boring compared to MLS, but it creates better players.
Okay,
It
championship.
does,
Roy.
but who do we have in the championship right now? We have Brendan Aronson, who, sure, we could talk about. He's become a better player since leaving MLS, but he's pretty awful every time he touches a pitch for the U.S. men's national team. We have Austin Trusty, who does well in the championship, who probably shouldn't be sniffing any minutes for the national team. We have Haji Wright, who's been pretty damn great in the championship and national team.
World Cup goal scorer, my friend.
World Cup goal scorer, sure. We had a Reggie Cannon recently. I mean, we're not having that translation of good performances in the championship. And we have players playing exceptionally in the championship. Josh Sargent, for the past year and a half, has mostly been fantastic outside of his injuries. For the national team, the furthest thing from fantastic. So this argument of championship players will translate better to the national team, I haven't seen it. We're not seeing it. Aiden Morris is another one, Middlesbrough. With MLS, we have a history of MLS players playing very well for national team.
But we're at a different level.
Okay, so are you saying MLS? You'd rather have MLS players than
I mean,
championship?
Rocky's right in that there's more pressure going to a different country, moving away from your family. Like I mentioned before, sometimes that breaks a player. But, you know, you want the diamonds. You want them to come out of that doing well. But
so you're agreeing with him? Championship?
No, not really.
I mean, yeah, Roy, you got to. Now you're doing the wavering thing. Pick MLS or championship. I'm giving you.
Championship is going to make you a significantly better player.
You're saying MLS. You're saying stay in the MLS.
I would say
it depends
MLS
on the
a little longer, excel, and don't make the jump to championship. Wait till you can make a jump to a better.
He's saying it depends on the player, and I disagree because I think if you cannot handle that pressure,
there's no question in here.
Hold on, let me finish. No, because I'm blaming Safid. There's a stupid question. Should MLS players be called up?
You guys have to answer the question. Yes,
they should be called up to the national team. What are we? But the difference is if you can't hack it in Europe, you don't have what it takes to play at the national team level because of where we want to go, because of what we want this national team to be, Roy. If you can't handle that pressure, then you can't handle the pressure of playing for the country.
Okay. Real quickly, let's end on this because we'll wrap here. One player from Camp Cupcake who deserves to be on the men's squad Nations League in March.
Diego Luna.
Has to be, man. The famous actor turned soccer player himself. Diego Luna. Remember Mama Tambien? Remember that excellent film, Roy?
Mama Tambien.
Diego Luna. Okay.
Who knew he had a second career?
Okay. By the way, Diego Luna, the actor, is definitely from our rivals from
I think it's
south.
His son, actually, the actor's son.
Yeah, exactly. So for all U.S. men's national team fans out there, let us know your thoughts. Do you think that that the MLS is improving? Do you think the player pool is improving? Let us know what you think about all that kind of stuff. What's the state of the league, and which of the players from the January camp do you believe should make it to the U.S. men's national team when they take on Panama in March coming up? So for all U.S. men's fans out there and fans of the U.S. national teams in general, keep watching the beautiful game. Go USA!
Go USA! I was going to say Miljevic too. Miljevic from the camp. I know a lot of people hate him. He had a little creative spark,
man. He's got to find a team, Roy. He's got to find a team and stop punching out people.
But he has something. I don't disagree.
At that
number 10 position.